Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working on a single page 6x8 layout, and these are photos from Milwaukee, so I'm still working on that. I do have sort of an insert thing happening on the left. It will be part of this layout, but the front of it will also be part of the previous layout. So I had this brochure that I picked up when I was there, and it was about becoming a member. I didn't want to do that, but I loved the picture on the front, so I just wanted it for that. So I tore off the front. You can see it's a little bit jagged on the edge here, so I'm going to trim that down to make it an even edge. And this is not a standard size. It's not 3x8, it's not 4x8, it's in between. But since I'm not going to use a page protector, it really doesn't matter. My plan is once that edge is made smooth and I've done what I'm going to do to it, then I'm going to adhere a citrus twist attacher on here with the holes already in it, and then it can just turn sort of free floating within the album. So this is the back. This is the part I'm actually going to be using, and I do have another photo here from the Desert Dome, which is what this is. And what I want to do is cut this down right probably to the top of where it says Desert Dome, pretty close to that. And I actually want to cover up this portion that says about the friends, because I don't really need that information. I don't mind having this at the bottom because it gives general information about the domes as a whole, but I don't need this. So I kind of figured out that if I trim this down, it'll fit. So I just needed to cut that off, and this is dead space anyway. So I'm going to cover that up, and then because this is smaller than 4 inches, I will have to also trim down the photo, which is fine. But this allows me to both use the brochure and get another photo on there, but not have to use another page protector. So after I trimmed down the one side, it was a little uneven in terms of the design on the front, and then these sides here also were not even. So I trimmed it down more to make it even. So now it is 3.5 inches wide. So that helps me also with the photo because I know I can cut this at 3.5 inches and it'll fit. All right, I trimmed down the photo in both directions here, and now it will fit right in this spot, which is right where I want it. So I can adhere it and I don't lose any of this info down here. I also get the nice little logo, so that's pretty perfect. So I realized before I actually put this picture on, I should decide where and how I'm going to attach the actual plastic piece that goes into the album, because it's got to be on this side in order to flip correctly. But I'd like to tuck it underneath the photo a little bit if possible, and then have this over it so you don't see all of the adhesive stuff. And then I remembered I actually have 2 options. These are the standard citrus twist ones here, and then this is the size from Felicity Jane. Now, they have decided to kind of not do their kits and stuff anymore, so I bought these during their closing sale of the shop. So I don't think these are available anymore, but I have this whole package. I might as well use them. So you can see there is quite a difference. These are quite a bit shorter. The hard plastic piece is also quite a bit thicker and it's shorter. So these are much more flexible. These are a little bit more rigid. For my purposes, either is fine because if you look at them closely, they both have 6 holes. My album that I'm using only has 2 rings. So no matter what I use, it's going to be fine. Since I've never used any of the Felicity Jane ones, I decided to try it on this. Why not? So I have it attached. It does definitely add a little bit of weight, so that's different than what I'm used to, but it pretty much, attaches in the same way, looks the same pretty much. Again, a little bit wider, but otherwise it's the same. So now that that's attached, I can put this over it, and I want to go end to end here, like so. And there we go. So you definitely can see this, I think, more. You can see this showing through more than with this style, but because it's just this one little brochure and it's obvious I had an attachment, I'm not going to worry too much about it. For now, that left side is done, so I'm just going to leave it over here. I might add a little embellishment or something, but for now, it's fine as is. So I'm going to work on the right side. I've got 4 3x4 pockets here. 3 I already have photos for, and then this pocket is empty, but I had this in my stash of stuff, and I don't have any like deserty type trips planned anytime soon. So I figured I might as well use this. It fits the landscape that you would expect for the desert dome. So I want to use it here. I think the other option would be to find a card that fits there and then put it on the outside of the protector in the middle, which I'm open to, but I'd have to find the right card. So I think I'm going to go on the hunt for that next, and then depending on what I find, it will inform the rest of the design here. In my stash of cards that I had in my Milwaukee bin, I found these two, and I think I probably threw them in here knowing I had some bright yellow. And in looking at them, I think this is probably the better choice. It's just a closer match over there. This one's a little lighter, and I do like this, so maybe I'll use it for something else. And then looking at it this way, I think I want to perhaps switch these photos around, move this to the bottom corner and this up top, because then these are diagonal from each other, and I just like the look of it better. And then this, I have to decide, do I want it in the middle? Do I like it overlapping? I kind of like the overlapping look, honestly. So maybe if I do that a little bit skewed more to the upper left, this in the lower right, I can stamp something there. I could put a phrase there. I have options with what I want to do with it. And then I also have some green ink. I actually have several hues of it that I could use for splattering. I think I'm going to do that because otherwise this white feels way too white. Like there's nothing else happening, and it feels weird to me, and I feel like bringing in a little green, since there's so much elsewhere, would really help. I'm getting ready to do the splattering. These are the two greens that I'm trying to decide between them. This one is more of like a muted sage green. This one is a little darker, and it's almost more of a mix of a little lime in there. And it kind of tells you that too, because the name of this one is Margarita. These are both like a matte finish. This is glossy spray from Dina Wakley, and it doesn't have sparkle in it. It does have a little shine, I guess, because of the gloss aspect, but there's no metallic in there, so it's not sparkly like a lot of my other sprays. So both of these do not have sparkle, which is what I want. I want it to be a little bit more muted, but I can't decide which color I think would look better. They both look like they would work. So I think maybe I'm just gonna do a little piece of scratch paper and test it first, and then see what I like better. Here is my test piece of paper. So up top is the Margarita, and down below is the Aloe, and I think I like the Aloe color better. This is a little too dark, I think. This is pretty perfect when you put it up next to the photo, so I'm going with Aloe. Okay, I did my splattering, and hopefully the camera is showing that well. And my experience with these, with the gloss sprays, is that they do take a little bit longer to dry than just like the other type that I had, that's the non-gloss. So I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit, and then I'm gonna think about what do I wanna do down here. I'm really thinking stamping, and maybe like in a brown instead of a black. There is black here, or very, very dark gray. So I mean, I don't know that it would look bad necessarily, but I'll test it out and see what I think. But I'm at least gonna look through my stamp set and find out, do I have a little phrase that would be fitting and that would serve that space well? I've decided I am going to stamp, and I'm using this little set here, and I want to use the one that says landscape. Now I'm sure this is meant maybe for some picture of grandiose mountains or something, but this is a specific landscape that I was going into here, and so I think it's fitting, and it will go right there in that space. That's pretty perfect. I have decided to use black ink. I don't think it'll be that obtrusive because I realized I also have black on the doors over here. So when it's all put together, I think it'll be okay. So I have that, I have my block, my ink, I'm ready to stamp. I've decided that with this card here and the layout of the photos and everything, that this little piece of ephemera will look better just overlapped here rather than over the center. Now, sadly, with the way I did the inking, a lot of that's going to get covered up with this. I may have to do a little bit more on top. I was just trying to, sort of play it safe by putting that on first, because once you put an embellishment on and then you ink over it, it could go badly wrong. You don't know. You're taking a chance, and I'm willing to do that. I just thought I was being smart and thinking ahead and being careful, but I'm going to have to add more, I think. Yeah, it looks too blank up there without it. So back out comes the box and this, and then I'll grab the ink and I'll do some more. I did the additional inking there and I'm happy with that, but once again I have to let it dry. So now I think I'm just on the hunt for some kind of phrase. Maybe because this is here, it'll have to go up top here, but I think I need to pull in probably some more of the yellow, and I'm okay if the phrase is a white background with yellow writing or the other way. It just depends on what I find. I don't think I need anything on this. Now that I've looked at it more and lived with it, I think it's fine. So it's really just one phrase for over here. So I'm gonna pull out my yellow phrases and hopefully there's something in there that's good. In all of my yellow phrases, this is the one I like the best, and I think the color works. I love that it's actually a white background because it'll bring in the white here as well as the little bits on this side. And I think I'm gonna go upper left. This is also upper left, but this is lower right. And when I had this over there, it felt like I just had too much shifted to the right. So I'm gonna go left there. And I think that just evens out the white more as well. And then these are kind of in a diagonal line, which I really dig. So I'm going to attach that, and then I think this one might be finished. Okay, I have everything in the pockets. I'm just testing out what I think. And I do think this one is done. So you can kind of see I added that up at the top. I built this card out of these pieces. It really wasn't that difficult, but I love the way it looks. So here's another one done for Milwaukee. Thanks for watching.